So here we are down at the pond. The ram pump is completed and functional. There's a few minor tweaks left to do, but we'll deal with those when we get the delivery line in and actually get this thing wired up to actually put water up top. For now, let me give you a tour. So you can see the spring reservoir is full, and it's even got a little excess water. I guess it to be between 4 and 5 gallons a minute coming out. See, we got a nice stainless steel window screen for a intake strainer, so we don't suck anything in. Yesterday when I was testing, I sucked in a stick that jammed in one of the check valves, the spring check valve, and stopped the pump from functioning. I realized that was a detail that I had missed that I should have taken care of before, but now it's straightened out. Fresh, pure spring water coming in at 40 degrees, nice and clean. Run down the pipe. And we'll take you over to the other side and show you. Alrighty, so it comes from the spring on down, very gently descending elevation on through, makes the curve to line up with the pump. Goes from 2 inch down to 1.5 inches there where the standpipe is. That's that little white pipe sticking up by the tree. And then it runs 34 feet down to the ram pump. The total of 117 feet of 2 inch Schedule 40 PVC as a supply line, and 34 feet of 1.5 inch Schedule 40 PVC as a delivery line, the drive pipeline, sorry, my bad. And yeah, so works well. When I set this up, I made it so it could be maintained or worked on. So I installed a union. This is a union here, so you can actually unscrew this and take these two sections of pipe apart if you have to make adjustments or move something or change something. And there's a valve so you can shut it on and off easily here, because 2 inch PVC line full of water is pretty heavy. Let's see, I put support post in, just dug a hole with a post hole digger, cut a tree with a V in it, set it at elevation, appropriate elevation. Same here, made this tree into a support post, and you can feel this whole line is flexing or pulsing with the ram pump. So obviously right here I got a leak issue. I got to correct that. I didn't have any more PVC glue or fittings to fix that yesterday, but it's not affecting operation. It's a small enough leak that it just keeps rolling. I imagine at some point the water hammer will start to really pop that apart, but I'll have fittings by then hopefully and have it straightened out. This is a standpipe here. We go from 2 inch up to 3 inch to give us a little excess volume. I'll let you have a look down inside the pipe. You can see the water level coming up and down. See it pulsing. So that makes sure that there's a steady volume supply of water to the ram pump. And the other thing that does is dissipates most of the shock wave at the standpipe, so that shock wave isn't traveling all the way back up the pipe and slowly tearing the pipe fittings apart. And we're mounted real heavy to a tree, and then on down. So here it is, an 1.5 inch ram pump. It's been running continuously since last night around 12:30 when I set it up, and it really works like a charm. Running flawlessly. Quite an impressive little thing to see. I have to say, I thought it would be louder from a distance away, but it's actually not really that bad at all. I think it's probably part of the fact that it's down in this valley, surrounded by higher terrain and bushes and that kind of stuff to absorb some of the sound. But it's really not bad. I could hear it last night when it was real quiet out from up by the house. I listened real closely, And I was listening for it today, and I didn't hear it. And I thought it had shut down. But when I got down here, it was running. So, actually not too bad. Let's have a look at this pressure gauge. At the moment, I got the valve just partially open, so we can restrict enough pressure to keep the pump in operation. It won't operate below 10 psi. We're running about 22 right there or so. And I guess I should show you the output. I did a measurement last night. I had it restricted to about 12 psi just to keep it in operation, and it was producing about 1.5 gallons a minute. So that's right on target for the calculated expected output. And we're only going to have about 16 psi when we go up to the top of the hill up top, so not a lot of restriction. I did do a full up pressure up test last night, and had 75 psi. I did another one this afternoon, and I actually had 80 psi. So what I'm going to do here is lock this valve off, and you can watch the pressure climb out, as long as I don't fall in the mud here. So we'll shut it off, output off. You can hear the pump change a little bit. I'm sorry, I gotta lock this camera back in my hand here. Hear the tone and speed change a little bit. Occasionally you'll hear that little trip, and it'll trip up on itself a bit, but it keeps right on running. You'll see the pressure's climbing pretty quickly. We're already up over 50 psi. We'll sit here and let it rock. You'll see it go to 70, 75, 80 maybe, which impresses me very much. 60 psi would take you like 112 feet vertical. So 80, I don't know, I think 80 could probably touch 200 vertical feet and still deliver some water. So that is very impressive for a 7-foot drop as your prime. 7-foot drop times 0.433 pounds per square inch per foot of drop. You're looking at like, I don't know, 3 psi or something like that. So 3 psi in can give you up to 80 psi out, which is right in line. They say a ram pump will do approximately 10 times the fall. So if you're falling 5 feet, it'll do 50 foot on the output. And like I said, we're falling 7 foot here, and you can see we just went up over 70 psi, and we're still climbing. So just let it climb. I guess I should probably explain this to you while it's topping up its pressure a little more. So that fitting right there is another union, so the pump can be disconnected from the line easily. That proved to be very handy yesterday when that stick got jammed in the check valve. Goes to a T, and then if you see this brass valve right there, that's a 1.5 inch swing check valve. That's set up so that it closes when the water flows past it fast enough to slam it closed. So when that closes, it pushes the spring check on that blue valve. That's a spring check valve right there. Pushes that open and sends that surge of pressure and water through into the rest of the system. And this top piece here is an air chamber, and that's got bubble wrap in it so that the air doesn't get depleted, doesn't get waterlogged, and that's how you compress all that pressure and store it. And then you come out the end here, you can go off to your wherever you're trying to send water to. So it's pretty simple in operation, and pretty simple to build. Some of the parts are kind of expensive, but all in all, it's not bad. I think the entire pump itself costs like, I don't know, around 150, 200 bucks, which isn't too bad. Some of these brass fittings can be expensive, and that's just the nature of it. But man, I'm really impressed. It's exciting. I've wanted to build one of these for so long. I could take a look back at that pressure gauge now. Just below 80. We're holding about 78 right now. And that's without tweaking. I can actually tweak the pump's operation by raising and lowering the discharge valve here. I'll show you. So I can take this and lift it. Whoops. And I just knocked over my... Well, it's really hard to do this with one hand. So whatever, the pressure tank doesn't have to sit vertical. I just like it to sit vertical because it looks nice that way. Anyway, you can tweak the operation of the pump that way. You can control whether you're developing more pressure or more flow, depending on the application you're trying to do. And the other thing you can do to tune this is you can actually control this valve. This output valve can actually be tweaked down to restrict the amount of flow. So if the water supply coming from the spring starts to dry up a little bit this summer, I can actually restrict the amount of water we're using to run the pump and therefore not deplete the supply. So it is scalable to some degree, which is really nice. I wanted to build 1.5 inches because I knew that would be about right for what the spring measurements were. But my concern was that later in the season it could become drier and I wouldn't be able to do it. And then when I researched into it a little more, I found that you actually can really regulate it pretty well. So that's good info to have. So you can see we're a solid 80 now, and I can actually take that valve all the way up to vertical. I haven't played with that too awful much yet because I just built it last night and I was pretty tired at the end of the long day. So, anyway, thanks for watching the Farmacy Seeds Network. This is the Ram Punk project. Our next phase, we need delivery line, and we can run up to the top of the hill. Endless water, no gasoline, no batteries, no engines, no complications. Turn it on, let it run. That's it. Thanks for watching.